would totally do away with that system that forced many of us to choose committees that we had no interest in and would have never chosen if we were not playing a team sport. No more having to take one for the team. In the privacy of our caucus, with all the time we desire, we can pick our committees. The final committee selection would then be transmitted to the House Clerk. The Speaker would then appoint the chairs. The Speaker and the chairperson of each committee will jointly appoint the remaining members of the committee for the subcommittees, 8 members of each of the 3 permanent subcommittees. The majority party will have at least 11 members on each committee, and the minority party will have no more than 9 members on a committee. House Budget Committee will consist of 24 members, so under the current party percentages, the Republicans would have 18 seats, the Democrats would have 6. The majority would never have less than 13, the minority would never have more than 11. First and second alternates would be chosen in the same manner. The positions on budget would be filled during the caucus process as determined in the A and B committees. Legislative Council will consist of 20 members, so under the current party percentages, the Republicans would have 15 seats, the Democrats would have 5 seats. The majority would never have less than 11, the minority would never have more than 9. The position for Legislative Council would be filled during the caucus process that determined the A and B committees. Legislative Joint Auditing would populate its committees the same way as the Legislative Council. This system protects the concept of majority rule at the same time honoring the minority. This doesn't vest more authority in one person. I believe there is plenty enough already and should not gain more at the expense of the 99 losing the right to vote. I believe our Speaker is a man of great integrity, and in no way do I intend to infer anything to the contrary. He, like the rest of us, has the right to propose bills, resolutions, and amendments. You, like he, has every right to like, dislike, agree, or disagree. That is what makes America great. I initially intended to point out that Rule 66 of our House rules that deals with expungement, 66A says a bill, resolution, or amendment in a House committee having been rejected twice shall not be placed on a committee calendar again or considered again during the same legislative session unless voted to expunge 2/3 of the membership of the committee. The motion to expunge shall be placed on a committee agenda by a committee member and placed at the bottom of the active list. A bill or resolution may be amended before a second consideration, but unless expunged, even an amendment bill having failed twice shall not be placed on the calendar to be considered. In this section, the ability to make a motion to expunge can only occur after a bill has failed twice. My resolution has never failed even once. So the motion to expunge was not allowed under these rules. Leaving that aside, let's leave that debate aside for another day. And let me express just a few more thoughts, and I will finish. Concerning the vote on Monday, I believe it was simply a hasty decision and not an attempt to sideline the rules. Contrary to my emotion over the last 3 days, and there's been a lot of that, I choose to believe that it was not the committee's intention to rob me of my due pass. In the 41st Institute of Legislative Procedure Handbook, dated December the 5th through the 9th, 2016, on page 1 of the section titled Question and Answers about the Policies of the Arkansas House of Representatives, it says, quote, while the written policies, procedures, and rules of the General Assembly may seem to cover most points of our legislative process, they do not, and they cannot, address all the more essential personal elements of an effective legislative service. Ethics, honesty, integrity, cooperation, consideration, compassion, and respect. For our legislative process to work best, these qualities must be deliberately cultivated and routinely practiced by every member, end of quote. So committee, let us deliberately cultivate and routinely practice these stated virtues. Members, I must confess that over the last 3 days, I have had to deal with many different emotions as a result of the actions of this committee on Monday. The feelings of anger, hurt, disappointment, disrespect, dishonesty, and betrayal are just to name a few. I bet if you put yourself in my shoes, you would have similar people. In spite of those events, I would like to apologize if I have been short-tempered, hateful, vengeful, disrespectful, and less than exemplary.